Customer rings his own food, by user tats not my name. I'm sorry if this is the wrong subreddit for this, it's a funny story and I feel like this is the best fit. I work for a very popular quick food chain that started in the Midwest. During COVID, we had to close our lobby for obvious reasons, so we resorted to putting up a tent, the ones you'd see at fairs, to take orders outside in addition to our drive-through because we can get very busy, but we also don't want to waste labor by having someone out there all day, so we just send someone to run out after we get X amount of cars lined up in the drive-through and it remains unmanned otherwise. One day, we are having a slow afternoon. I work in kitchen and an order starts to pop up on the screen, which is weird because we have an overhead system that gives kitchen the audio when someone is taking an order in drive-through, so I know we don't have a guest in drive and we have our breaks done, so it isn't one of my co-workers' food. I call up to frontline to ask who's ordering and they are at a loss, so I look at the screen again and it says that it's coming from the POS that we have outside. Our POS isn't the easiest to navigate, or at least wasn't at the time, and usually requires 3 to 5 days of training to get someone used to all the different menus on it and to get them to remember asking for sauce on orders with tenders and condiments on burgers. Turns out, some customer had decided to take his own order on the POS outside, without issue, and cashed himself out. We don't have a register out there, you can only pay with card, so we weren't worried about him stealing. He even added his own side of sauce, he gave himself a number for the order, and he tendered it to the right location. A few of us managers were curious if he would be interested in a job because we are always in recruit mode, but he politely declined. Everyone on shift thought this was hilarious and the story was circulating around the store for a week or so because we found it so funny. German lady wanted to get me fired, in another store, by username Lara. I live in Germany, work in an electronics shop. This shop is inside a mall with some supermarkets. I was quickly grabbing something to eat in my break in a supermarket called Aldi, and while I stopped somewhere next to a high shelf, an old lady, maybe around 70 years old, asked me if I can give her a box that was at the very top of the shelf. I am a very kind soul and tried to get the box, but I am 1,50 m big, so I am very small and couldn't reach it. I even jumped, but I still could not get the box. I told her I can't reach it and she should ask someone else and walked slowly away while looking at my phone. The lady yelled at me, "Excuse me. You don't want to help me? Get me the manager. Quick." Well, the lady didn't notice that I don't work in the Aldi and had something else as work outfit than the workers in the Aldi. The Aldi work outfit is mostly light blue, but mine is navy blue/dark blue with the orange star on the right chest. The fact that the lady didn't knew, I am a daily customer and the manager knows and likes me a lot. I did like the lady told me, I brought her the manager but told him beforehand that the lady is rude and mad. The manager heard her side of the story while she was lying that I cursed at her, did look on my phone while work and don't care about customer wishes. Her words, "You should fire her cause she triggers my PTBS of my bad neighbors. I could have had a heart attack cause of your bad employee." After that the manager said, "That's sad, but this girl did never work in my company. I don't know why you call out one of my dear regular customers. This girl is every day here and the nicest person who never swears in front of people." He called the security, and told her that she is not allowed to shop in this mall anymore. She was like loud air horn, yelling and crying at the same time. Still screaming at me but crying to shop in that Aldi again. The whole time I was pretty chilled and enjoyed the show. At the end when she got escorted out, I even waved and smiled at her. When I told the story to my boss, he went to the supermarket, watched the security cam footage and came back laughing. The last 4 hours of my shift my boss sent me home and told me that I deserved that. Afterwards I thought about this situation and maybe the lady saw a person in a blue shirt and assumed that this person, me in that moment, works there. On the other hand, she could ask if this person works in this store. This is not a stupid question, it a totally casual one cause everyone can be a customer or on break. Sorry for my bad language but I tried my best. Greetings from Weisswurst and Beerland. Do I look like a pharmacist? By user Mrs. Day. Picture it, Sunday afternoon at Costco. People everywhere. I have an injured knee and wear a brace. Husbeast and I were nabbing supplements, my brace was slipping, so I sat on the bench by the pharmacy to adjust it. Lo, there stands Karen. I need my husband's medicine. I'm fiddling with my brace, not paying attention. I need my husband's medicine. I realize she wants me to do something about it. The pharmacy is closed on Sunday. If you call in the morning, you can get it delivered. I should have just kept quiet and walked away. This is what I get for trying to be kind. Aren't you going to help? Get the manager. She's wild-eyed and in high dudgeon and ready to bite anyone in her path. I'm not a pharmacist and I don't work here. They're closed today. Karen was not having it. I need my husband's medicine. Now. The pharmacy is dark. No one is there, they're closed on Sunday. Call tomorrow. They deliver. The husbeast rolled around the corner, we left her standing there, huffing and squalling. Just, why? Sitting reading a book vs Hell Demon, by user Wongkheimer Kinjerkin. I'd like to preface this by saying that the language used by the awful person in question is not language I condone or use myself. Realizing that I've actually had two IDWITEL experiences a few years ago, both hilariously enough within days of each other. This however was the rudest/worst person. Part of my job at the time was collecting food for clients, so I find myself entering an establishment that Prince Andrew loves and goes to a lot, jokes. When I go in, the host greets me and I give him my order number, he tells me it'll be about 20 minutes, but please wait. All good, I tell him, I'm not in a huge rush and I've bought my Kindle for this exact purpose. So I can set the picture, it's winter, so I'm dressed in jeans, a big black, thick jacket and a bright purple beanie. The restaurant staff in question are in smart, white shirts and suit trousers. No beanies, no jeans, no thick, winter coats. There was a couch for waiting customers next to the host stand, so I sit down and start reading. At some point, the door opens and I'm vaguely aware of a draft of cold air. Ah, girl, ahem, 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 ahem. I'm completely oblivious that I am the subject of the ahems. Ah, foot stamp and another ahem. I look up, see an angry hell demon practically jumping out of her skin. Her eyes buggy. She's well dressed but wearing a comically large hat that makes her looks like she's being abducted by a UFO. Me, oh, I'm being served, you can go on ahead. Ah, she interrupted me, table for two. Me, sorry I don't work here? Ah, do. You speak English? Table for two. I'm baffled here, completely taken aback. Ah, are you deaf? Me, I don't work here. Ah, are you retarded? I want a table for two. I gave up trying to speak and thankfully the host came over at this point. A girl gives me the filthiest look possible and mutters under her breath about me being special needs and ugly and stomps after the host. Her boyfriend/whatever sort of shrugged like this was normal behavior and followed his awful girlfriend to their table. We confused a store manager, no drama, by user Shelliser42. Hi gang. Reading all these stories I'm becoming convinced that shopping in the US is a whole lot more dangerous than shopping in the Netherlands. Sure, we have our share of entitled people, but I never came across such extreme situations over here. Very happy about that too. Today my girlfriend came over to visit and she even brought homemade sushi. Face savoring delicious food now, we nearly always eat sushi with beer, because we can both enjoy that. I still had 3.5 liters cans so, cheers. The sushi was amazing and the beer tasted great too. But I made an ominous discovery. If there are two people drinking beer then your beer reserve depletes twice as fast. Face without mouth, who would have known? So after we had a can of beer and split the other we were pondering what to do, but eventually decided we'd grab a few more cans for later in the evening. On to the supermarket we went. We grabbed a few groceries, decided on shrimp salad later, and eventually made our way to the beer section where a store worker was filling the shelves. Ah, great, the brand we wanted to buy was still lying on a store cart fully packaged in cardboard trays. So I figured I'd ask the store worker if it was okay with him that we grabbed some beer from the store cart. He answered, sure thing. So my GF and me make our way to the big loading cart and some trays with another brand were lying on top of the ones we wanted. We were both a bit intoxicated, in a funny mood, so we both decided that we weren't going to be lazy and make the store workers live any more difficult. A full tray is much easier to carry than an opened one, so GF and me decided to first put those other trays where they should be. We knew because we come there more often, and after we both placed the trays in place the store worker grinned and said, you guys really don't need to do that, but thanks. I told him it wasn't a problem at all because the last we want to do is to bother him with his work. So I grab a tray of the brand we want, open it, ask my GF how much we should buy, we decided on 12, so half a tray, and thus I unpacked the tray. Meanwhile my GF was looking at the cart and said, well, since the sports schools are still closed due to COVID, I might as well work out a bit like this, so she continued unloading the cart and placing trays of beer on the bottom shelves with a big grin on her face. She asked the store worker again if he didn't mind and if we weren't bothering him, and he's like, "Are you kidding? If you guys don't mind, then I'm going to move across to the wine section and quickly fill out that place." "No problem." After I grabbed the 12 beers from the tray, my GF scolded me in a friendly manner by telling me not to be lazy and put the remaining 12 cans onto the top shelf so other people could grab those. "Oh well, why not, winky face." While I was doing that, my GF finished with the last tray of beer, and right at that time a store manager came around the corner. Apparently he saw the cart being nearly empty. "Great work you guys, that was fast. If you're done here, could you help clean up?" "Wait, you guys don't work here, do you?" We apologized for the confusion, quickly explained ourselves and that we were in a funny mood and how my GF figured she might as well do some beer training. Smiling face with open mouth and cold sweat, the store worker also came over and told the manager how we asked and that he figured he'd let us be for a moment. Store manager thought it was funny, thanked us for our help, and after my GF asked again, he assured us that it was perfectly fine. Made us feel really good.